Thank you, Sage. I do agree with you for once that more lame ass news is coming in today, and it wasn't a good day if you're a Blue Jays fan. I will be honest with you. I believe it was the first day of spring training for the Jays, and we uh, we sort of maybe got our hearts ripped out just slightly, just slightly. So let's get right to it. Anthony Santander last year had a shoulder injury that really hampered him for a long ass fucking time. So I'm just wondering why it is now that he is taking the opportunity to have labrum surgery when he could have did that, I don't know, back in October and been back for opening day or the start of May. Instead, he's having it today and he's going to miss 5 or 6 months. The best case scenario is we'll see Anthony Santander shortly after the All-Star break. That's the best case scenario. It does put a little bit of a dent to the Blue Jays' middle of the lineup. But again, we didn't really have him last year, so it didn't necessarily hurt us. However, we did have Bo Bichette, so kind of got to look at, Nathan Lucas and Davis Schneider to pick up the slack a little bit in a platoon, and potentially a good opportunity for Joey Loperfido to get more at bats and showcase whether he's legit or he's quit. So, not great news for the Jays. The other thing that's not very great news is Shane Bieber. They're gonna go. They're gonna go a little slow with him. Because he was experiencing some right forearm fatigue at the end of last season. So that's probably why his performance in the playoffs wasn't quite where you would expect it to be, and probably why he picked up a $16 million player option over the winter with the Blue Jays. So a little bit of uncertainty there. The good news is that basically means Jose Barrios probably going to be in the rotation. They are definitely going to stretch out Eric Lauer. We still have, Cody Pounce kicking around. So I think the rotation will be fine. It's not like he's actually injured. They're going to go a little slow with him based on what I understand there. Now, this is an injury that's actually, I like these types of injuries. I know that sounds like a sick thing to say, but I'm a sick man, Bowden Francis is slated to have Tommy John surgery, which means we don't have to see his lowly fucking performance for at least another year. If only that would happen to Brendan Little. I mean, this guy had a 6 ERA, that being Bowden Francis last year. He's not very good. When he was good, I said, this guy's not fucking very good. And he's just not very good. The stuff don't play. I hope next year at this time we're talking again and we hear that he fucking, blows out his labrum, because I don't ever want to see him pitch for the Jays again. Last interesting piece of news, former top prospect and Canadian Felipe Amont has agreed to a minor league contract with the Blue Jays. I don't know the last time this guy pitched, honestly, at the major league level. He used to have an okay arm. It was pretty hyped. I'm actually just going to do a quick Google search here just to see the last time that he actually pitched, honestly. Just give me a second here. This guy was a top prospect at one time. Last time he pitched was in 2015. Yeah, I was going to say over a decade ago that this guy pitched. He was on the Philadelphia Phillies. Who drafted him, though? It's hard to believe he's only 37 years old, because he was taken in the 2007 MLB draft by the Seattle Mariners, 11th overall. I remember when he was taken. Wow. That's kind of crazy. I mean, it's just a depth move, but wow, that's kind of crazy that it's been 18 years since this guy's been drafted, and yet he's still my age there. Pretty fucking interesting there. Depth, you never know with the bullpen. You can have a fluke year and potentially do something there. Let's stick with the bad news for now, and it'll stick kind of in the location of Toronto. The Detroit Tigers get some bad news today. Reese Olson had labrum surgery on his right throwing shoulder. He will not pitch this year. He had a 3.60 ERA in 53 starts and 3 relief appearances since debuting in 2023. He has been a guy that I have gone to as a depth piece when I needed additional pitching. He's been one of my guys. 26-year-old. I won't call him a stud, but he's always been available for me. This is going to be a weird season not having Reese Olson picked up at least once or twice. I do believe that that's probably why the Tigers, prior to me hearing this, signed Justin Verlander to a 1-year deal. I think it was $13 million. I'll just double check it. Just give me a second here. I was not overly prepared for this stream. I'm not going to lie to you, because when I'm working, I'm not just jerking the curtain. I'm doing my damn job. So just give me a second here. We're just going to take a quick little peek. Maybe Justin Verlander didn't even sign. Maybe I'm just making this shit up. Where's Justin Verlander? And he's supposed to be the picture. I put the picture in, I swear. Did Justin Verlander sign with the fucking Tigers? Or my fucking... I swear to God, he signed with the Tigers. Like this, I'm starting to feel a little bit... Alright, never mind. I was right. Alright. The 42-year-old future Hall of Famer Justin Verlander did sign a 1-year, $13 million contract with the Tigers. I like this. This is kind of a feel-good story. Before he retires, he goes back to the team that he started with. It comes full circle. But I don't think it's going to come full circle in the way that he wants. He's probably going to pitch to the tune of a 5.5 ERA, some shit like that. And they certainly will not win the World Series. So, that's a bit of a pipe dream there. But kind of see Justin Verlander come back. I guess he will shape up to be their 5-starter would be what I would guess. So that's going to be kind of cool to see there. What else we got? So we got to get rid of this shit. Delete it. Terry Francona made me mad very early this morning when he took a shot at my third baseman from last year, Noelvi Marte, saying that he struggled so bad against lefties last season, suggesting that he is going to be a part of a platoon. You don't get to talk about one of my players that I've managed in that respect in a public forum unless I give you the green light and unless I've said that too. So, yeah, look for Francona to try to fuck with one of my guys, but you'll see what happens to Terry Francona soon enough. That's all I'm going to say about that. Sage, I'm going to need to borrow your wrench. I got to go down to Cincinnati to take care of some business, so going to need to borrow that wrench for a weekend. Is that okay? That's okay if I borrow your wrench for a weekend? I mean, I did bestow it upon you. Just say it's okay, Sage. I take my wrench and I go on a road trip down to Cincinnati. I'm just trying to make things right again. Should say no, possibly. But I could work a wrench pretty damn good. You've seen me play 7 Days to Die. It's a good wrench. I promise the wrench, if you put on one of those luminol tests, might light up as red, but it'll still look platinum if you don't throw luminol on it. I promise. Nothing bad's going to happen to Terry Francona, okay? I promise. All right, we should get into a bit of yesterday's news as soon as we cover Aaron Savale signing with the Oakland Athletics on a 1-year, $6 million contract. They had to pay up a little bit for him, but it's Oakland. They're playing in Sacramento, where I guess it's a hitter's ballpark. He only had a 4.85 ERA. I like what they're doing. I mean, they're just trying to add some talent to their pitching staff, which is terrible. And, if they're out of the race late, trade them for prospects. It's probably going to be a bad disaster, though. This guy's a fly ball pitcher. It's probably not going to go very well for them. That's all I'm going to say. And they're probably not going to get any prospects because nobody is going to want them. The other thing here, the Pittsburgh Pirates, who were shooting all offseason for some big bats, have signed Marcell Ozuna, who certainly does have power, to a 1-year, $12 million contract. There's incentives that could kick that up to $16 million, and there is also a mutual option for the 2027 season. They missed out on a lot of guys. They did add, Marcell Ozuna, Brandon Lowe, Ryan O'Hearn, so that should help their offense a bit. I don't know if it's going to be overly significant, but at least they're making some moves. At least they're trying, and they don't normally do that. Now, there was a pretty big trade yesterday between the Boston Red Sox and the Milwaukee Brewers. It was a 6-player deal, and it looks like the Red Sox acquired Caleb Durbin. So I'm going to type him in, see what he does. I'm going to look over all these players because I'm not familiar with all of them outside of Kyle Harrison. I know what Kyle Harrison's going to bring. But let's just take a look at the players that are actually major leaguers. So Red Sox acquire Caleb Durbin, Andrew Monasterio. Okay. Has this guy even played in the majors? Venezuelan. Okay. Okay, we'll bring him up. He does have some stats there. Looks like he's a little bit older for a guy that doesn't have a lot of service time. I'm just going to bring up a couple more guys here. And who the hell is Anthony Siegler? Oh, we'll bring him up. Okay. And then what the fuck else do we got here? Just 1 second here. Normally I do get it ready. I didn't have the opportunity today. Is this a move where the Brewers are just trying to get younger, or we'll take a look and kind of see what the hell's going on here. Okay, we got one more guy in this fucking trade. Okay, just one more second here. Alright, one more fucking thing to go. Jesus Christ, man. Can't they make these fucking trades just a little bit smaller? Alright. So let's get rid of Philip Amonte. Let's move this fucking guy down here. So let's go over what the Red Sox receive. So first and foremost, Caleb Durbin apparently plays pretty good defense, pretty good contact hitter. Only had a 9.9 strikeout rate last year. So they get their Alex Bregman replacement. They've also added Andrew Monasterio and infielder / catcher Anthony Siegler, as well as a competitive balance B pick in the draft from the Brewers for Kyle Harrison, David Hamilton, and Shane Drowan. So let's take a look and see what the Red Sox got first. So let's start with their prized possession of the trade, that being 25-year-old Caleb Durbin. Had a 2.8 WAR last year, 18 stolen bases, a 256 average. That's not indicative of being a very good contact hitter, in my opinion. No offense to Roto World. 721 OPS. I'm going to have to say that there better be some room to grow here. There better be some room to grow because he only hit 11 home runs and he's a third baseman. He was third in Rookie of the Year voting. So let's hope that the 25-year-old has room to grow. I don't think he really does have room to grow because he's 5'7", 183 pounds. So I do not think the power is going to be there. He's going to have to hit for a bit better average if he's going to be a very good player. So it looks like the ceiling on this guy is extremely limited. I don't care if he was third in Rookie of the Year. A 387 slugging at third base is a problem. Now this Andrew Monasterio guy, he has played in 219 games, 533 at-bats, so less than a full season of at-bats in his career. His career being 3 years. He has a 672 OPS, so 28 years old, looks just like a replacement player that can play multiple positions. Do not know what his defense is like, but the bat definitely does not profile to be much for Andrew Monasterio. Now, the next guy we got here, Anthony Siegler, apparently can play catcher, second, and third. I doubt that. 26 years old. What did he do last year? Did he play in the majors at all last year? Looks like he played in the majors last year, had a 501 OPS. So was not very good, at least with the bat, in very limited time. So just kind of seems like a throw-in. Maybe he can play defense, I don't know. Not very much there. Kyle Harrison, not a great pitcher yet, at least, in terms of his WAR and his ERA. As a guy, though, potentially, I mean, he's only 24 years old. Career ERA is 4.39, albeit a lot of that was in San Francisco where it's easier to pitch. Last year, a 4.04 ERA. Strikeouts, 8.8 per 9, not terrible. Last year, 9.6 per 9, so not terrible. But it was only 35 innings. I mean, if you got a pitching coach that can elevate this guy, get this guy so that you can get him into the low, well, if he's low fours or high threes for his ERA, you've kind of made a good trade because you're going to have him under service for what? 5 more years or something? Probably 5 more years. So potentially could be a very good pickup for the Brewers. Now, David Hamilton, who the hell is he? Well, guess what? I don't know. Plays second and short. 642 OPS in his career, so obviously not very good with the bat. Looks like he can play a little bit of defense. Had a 2.6 WAR in 2024 in only 294 at-bats. So yeah, it tells me he's got a little bit with the glove, but not much else there. And then this last guy here we got coming, Shane Drowan, left-handed starting pitcher again for Milwaukee. Has never pitched in the majors. I cannot tell you whether his stats are good or bad because in the minors there's some teams that play in, hitter-friendly parks and some teams that play in pitcher-friendly parks. But his ERA in the minors is 4.29. His ERA in college was 4.76. So this guy kind of looks like a dud. 10.3 strikeouts per 9 last year. High walk percentage. I'm not really buying that this guy's going to be worth a goddamn fucking thing. I mean, when was he drafted? 23rd fucking round? Fucking idiot. Fucking idiot. Nah, not really buying it. Really there's just 2 players that really seem like they're notable, Kyle Harrison and Caleb Durbin. And Caleb Durbin, as it currently stands, probably the better player. So Boston, theoretically, probably won this trade, unless there's something I don't know, which is highly possible. I think that Boston won this trade. I don't think it's a trade that puts them over the top, but looks like an okay trade. Kyle Harrison's just a guy at this point. In terms of other stuff that we have to go over, the only other thing I heard, which was not even news to me, is Clint Kubiak basically saying that he's going to call plays for the Raiders. Okay. We kind of knew that, Clint, so you didn't really have to say that. Other news, Rob Havenstein retired today after 11 seasons with the St. Louis Rams. And that will do it, unless Sage has anything else to say. But kind of a medium-sized shot to the face to the day for the Blue Jays. We were really hoping for Santander to come back and, not necessarily hit the 44 home runs that he did, a couple years ago, but to come back and be a bit of a force in the middle of the order. So be interesting to see how we replace that. Not really worried about Shane Bieber a whole lot because that's just forearm tightness that was literally happening, back during the playoffs. That's quite a bit of time ago. I'd say wasteful news too. Had to do it though, Sage. Had to do it. I let it build up. I needed to get it off my chest, especially the Santander. But yeah, say pretty much an uneventful stream, except for there was actually quite a few baseball moves. I'm not gonna lie. We'll probably have some more to go because be interesting to see if actually. Let's just quickly before we get out of here, take a look at top 50 MLB free agents for the MLB trade rumors there. And let's just see how many free agents are left that are actually kind of notable. So obviously Kyle Tucker's off the board, Bo Bichette's off the board, Dylan Cease off the board, was grabbed by the Blue Jays. Obviously he's off. Okay, let's just, who's on is what we're going to focus on. So just scrolling. Okay, so the top 10 did sign. So the 15th overall rated pitcher as per MLBTR, Zach Gallen is still available. I would expect to see something done with him very soon, given that we're almost in the fucking season. What else do we got here? There's not going to be a whole, but I mean, your 15th overall is still out there. That's crazy. You got Chris Bassett still out there available to be signed. Really interested. I mean, that's the guy that maybe Oakland should be all over. Is a guy like Chris Bassett. They want to make the rotation any fucking good. Chris Bassett, 24th best, according to MLB trade rumors. Lucas Giolito, so another pitcher. So we got 3 pitchers out there. Giolito had a pretty good year last year. Not necessarily my favorite fantasy guy. I did have him years ago. So there's 3 good pitchers out there. Starters as well. Another pitcher who can be good. I don't necessarily trust him, but Zach Little, the 35th, actually, he's pretty good, actually. I think I mixed him up with Savali, actually. No, Zach Little, 35th best. That's a good arm there. Not really an arm, but more of a pitcher. Justin Verlander, who just came off the board. So you have 4 starting pitchers right now in the top 50. What else do we got here? We're almost to 50. You still got Max Scherzer, who was ranked 48th, so another starting pitcher. So what's that, 5? You got a catcher, not available. So in the top 50, you've got 5 guys available. Zach Gallen, obviously, being the headliner. And then, like Max Scherzer, Chris Bassett, guys that we're obviously familiar with. And then for honorable mention, so this is outside the top 50, you've got Walker Buehler, Griffin Canning, Patrick Corbin, Nestor Cortez, Max Kepler, Michael Kopech. I like Michael Kopech. He throws hard. Starling Marte, Jordan Montgomery, Jose Quintana. Can't believe he's still pitching. I believe that son of a bitch was pitching back in MVP 2005 when I used to play that game. Dominic Smith, who I believe is a pretty good platoon player. I think Sagano just got injured, so he's not going to sign anywhere. Justin Wilson. Still some guys out there. I'm not sure where any of these fuckers are going to go. I'd really give Michael Kopech a look if I was the Blue Jays. I'm sorry, but this guy, I'm just going to quickly look him up because this guy throws fucking 100. There's not these guys that throw 100 that grow on fucking trees. And you got to kind of not necessarily look at his ERA as a way of judging this guy because in his career, not a great ERA, but I think he did start as a starter, didn't he? Yeah, he started out as a bit of a starter, so obviously a failed starter who 3.46 ERA in 2024 and a 2.45 ERA with the Dodgers last year. I'd just say, man, you throw 100, come on in. Here's, an incentive-laden contract. Give him a 1-year deal. He can prove his value. He's still 29 years old. Have a good year. Come back and land a good 3-year contract for yourself. He walks a lot of guys. That's the only thing. But I'd rather see a guy, walking people than Brandon Little doing it because I fucking can't stand him. Sage, I believe that you are the curse to the Brandon Little. I believe you're the one that cursed him. I think it's all your fault that Brandon Little is shit now. There's no one else I can think of to blame. You owned the son of a bitch when he was actually good. Now he's not good. You ruined him. We'll save that for another day. We'll be here all night if we start arguing about Brandon fucking Little or Brendan Little or whatever the fuck his goddamn name is. All right. It's time to go. It's quitting time. Have a good night, guys. And see you guys tomorrow.